billion. I made the council aware of that also last night. $226 billion that's going to be available for highways and also in urban areas. That means inner city streets and infrastructure. Some of that money is going to can be made available for that. Now, here are some additional things over the years that District 5 has had a big impact on. You notice the District 5 initiated the underbrush cleanup. You notice how your city is being cleaned up, all of the underbrush, so you make the community feel safer. And as the policemen circulate around the city, they can see from one side, see completely across the block. Well, I initiated that, and it is having a great impact, and we're getting good reviews about that. In addition to that, planning a multi-million-dollar bond issue to reconstruct streets. That's from District 5. I told you about the Rose Hill. Also, the Rose Hill, that hotel, that loan is going to be paid back. That 108 loan from HUD is going to be paid back from the hotel motel tax fund. Okay. Now, also, District 5 was instrumental in rebuilding that swimming pool on the west side, but that was done with a that was done with the through a 108 loan. O.W. Collins. Okay, District 5 initiated a program to get rid of the bed bugs. That just recently happened. The bed bugs in O.W. Collins, the whole place was infested with bed bugs. So I sent the health department down there and to staff. The health department went down there and educated the staff on how to get rid of the bed bugs. Located in District. Now this is located in District 2. Districts 2 and 6. That's what the O.W. Collins is located. They didn't do anything about it. They didn't do anything about it. Also, in addition to that, District 5, I've been working since 2003 to get a Family Dollar located in the west side. So Family Dollar is going to be located west of Houston Avenue across from New Hope Church. They have already acquired the property. In addition to that, on the island, I'm also sponsoring a plan to build a lakefront park on Pleasure Island. It's going to be 300 feet wide by 1 mile. That's going to put a lot of traffic on the island. Okay, District 5 also voted against increasing low-income housing in the city of Port Arthur. We are 2.5 times the state average. 7 and 8, they voted for it. 7, 8, 6, 2, and 3. They voted to increase your low-income housing. We are 2.5 times the state average. So in order to get additional low-income housing, the city council has to come up with a waiver. It has to pass a waiver in order to do that. District 5, 1, and 4 voted against the waiver. That waiver, 6, 7, and 8, and 2, and 3, they voted for it. That's why it's passed. That's why you're stuck with the people in Edison Square are stuck with those multi-family duplexes over there. Now, at one time, the city of Port Arthur went offshore, Sabine Pass, and annexed Superior Oil. They got $4 million. Well, some of the council members at that time wanted to spend the money on a one-time project. I advised the council to invest the principal and work off the interest. We invested the $4 million. At that time, the interest rate was high. It was generating as much as $1,100 a day. For several years, quite a few years, we split, the 4 districts, we split $400,000. That's why we was able to get streets back in those days, back in that time, get additional streets and drainage thing corrected. Now, by protecting that principle, later on in the early 90s, that $4 million, the city of Port Arthur had a budget shortfall. They couldn't balance the budget. They either had to lay off people or raise the taxes. So what happened, we took the $4 million principal and moved it inside and balanced the budget. That avoided laying off city employees. Now, you all recall young lady that was shot at the service station. She was sleeping in the back of the vehicle. She was killed. Well, the ministers met with the police department, met with the city manager. They met with the district attorney's office. And I met with them one time, and I reminded them that shooting was recklessly, and that person should have been indicted. Well, what I produced, and thanks to Reverend Moses, someone gave Reverend Moses a copy of the Texas Penal Code. What it states is this: as a private citizen can use deadly force at night to protect someone's life or property, but on the Texas Penal Code 9.05, that's the one. If you can do those things, but if you recklessly cause a third-party injury or get someone killed, you will be indicted. You will be prosecuted. So I was able to get the city manager involved and the chief of police involved. I put this item on the agenda, and this guy has been. I had the city manager to have the district attorney to convene the grand jury to hear this case, and they indicted this guy under 9.05, the Texas Penal Code that Reverend Moses made me aware of. He was indicted on the Texas Penal Code 9.05. You can look it up for yourself. Anytime you recklessly endanger a third party, you will be prosecuted. That cowboy attitude. Go ahead.
Okay, let me ask you a question for clarification, okay? Because that case is still pending.
Mm-hmm.
An indictment does not necessarily mean he still has to go to trial.
Still has to go to trial.
Okay. An indictment by the grand jury said that there was evidence enough to hold him as committing a crime.
Criminal charges against
against the penal code.
Right.
Okay. So we want to make sure that the listeners out there understand this clearly.
Mm-hmm.
He is still innocent, presumed innocent until found guilty in a court of law.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct. That's phase one is to get indicted. Phase two, now he's going to be prosecuted in court before a grand jury of his peers. Okay.
But you're saying that you were instrumental in exposing the information that was necessary.
That is correct.
For the city manager, the chief of police, and the district attorney to bring forth those.
And I credit Reverend Moses for transferring that information to me. I knew it was there. They were staying away from that part of it. They kept saying that under 9.41, 9.42, he had the right to use deadly force. But I said he was reckless. There ought to be something there. And thank God for Reverend Moses.
Right. And there was an organization. They began an organization and also presented that on the courthouse steps over Jefferson County.
Mm-hmm.
And then the process moved forward,
mm-hmm.
which was a good thing because quite a few citizens were really upset as to what was going on and what was not going on.
What was not going on.
So thank you. Thank you so much.
That is correct. Well, I'm going to take you all back a ways. District 5, 1 and 4, Port Drum. There was some EPA violations over at Port Drum. We talked about that the other day. We got that corrected. Then there was some I also discovered there was some underground on Marion Anderson in the Elvesa, Marion Anderson 50th Street in Elvesa. There was a 20-acre tract of land. Private citizens had gotten hold of that land, and it had some underground tanks. I was able to negotiate with the oil companies, get those people reimbursed that own that land. And then I took the land and had it condemned, where no one else could come across that.
Okay, let me add, for clarification, Port Drum and Port Iron are two different
subjects.
Two different subjects. Okay, so Port Iron Port Drum was the container business on 9th Street.
That's correct.
Marion Anderson and was it Joe
Lewis
and Railroad Avenue.
That is
which
correct.
Now, which eventually they concreted over the land, and it became a super environmental.
Well, let me correct it.
Okay, go ahead.
I got the EPA people involved. The council members knew about it for years. They didn't do anything about it. But my first year on city council, I was able to get something taken care. That was in 83.
83. Okay.
Within 6 months, I got that Port Drum cleaned up. It's been like that for 30, 40 years.
And it still has nothing built on it.
No, but what has happened, the soil was so contaminated.
Right.
I got EPA in there. And they cleaned it all up. The soil was 15% lead. Now, think from a parts per million. 15% of a million is 150,000. So the lead content of the soil, the lead content of the soil was 150 parts per million. That is, and a bunch of other different contaminations also.
Yeah. Now let me ask you a question because I was aware of a lot of people that worked there, and we had to pass it every day to go to school.
Right.
Was anything ever done for the workers and health wise?
Lawyers came down. I recall lawyers came down and worked the neighborhoods, and I don't know what. I wasn't involved in that end of it. My job was to clean it up and stop it.
Yeah.
And get it remediated.
Yeah.
But there was lawsuits filed behind that, and all of the oil companies said it was going in the plant, bringing these drums out of the plant into the city of Port Arthur and cleaning them up and just dumping it on the ground.
Right.
So I don't know, but I do know this. I witnessed myself hair loss. There are people living around there that had soles all on, had all kind of skin infection. Whatever. Had one young man was in the Navy. He went in the Navy and he was in the hospital the whole time. And the parents came to me and they said that he was evidently he was exposed to some kind of chemicals. So I sent the whole package to the Navy, the U.S. Navy, and so they could try to treat this kid. This kid was in the hospital, man. He was suffering from all kind of pain and all kind of illnesses, and they figured he had been involved in some kind of pollution.
Yeah, because I had an uncle that was working there, and that he explained to us about the benzene and everything that they would use to clean up
all that
the areas.
I found benzene, all them constituents. Yeah.
Right. Now you said equally there was a place in El Veste.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I discovered at the end, 2 10-acre tracts of land. Had a citizen bought it. He was gonna put a housing development there. He had his bulldozer clearing the land off. Then all of a sudden the bulldozer fell in, and all this black tar and stuff started coming up. What happened was prior years, lightning struck them on. They used to it's an underground crude oil storage tank. Lightning struck it and it burned up. They just covered it up with dirt.
Now is that area just behind the city?
Yeah.
A motor pool.
Right
in that area.
The big drainage, DD7 pump station.
Right. You go around the curve and
that is right there.
It right there. Yeah.
And I also discovered that as the water built up, they had put a drain through the levee, a pipe through the levee, and was running into the water system, and it was pumping it all over, just pumping it out. Yeah. Into the lakes and streams. Yeah.
Because there was quite a few of us at my age we was swimming. We were swimming. It was Alligator Bend, which was behind.
Y'all used to call it the Blue, I heard.
Right. And the other one was over there off of Terminal Road and back in that area heading towards behind Carver School, where it was a canal that we called Alligator Bend.
Oh, okay.
And then the other one was a tank yard that we would go swim in. That's before they put a swimming pool in Lincoln High School in the gym. And I think they finally poured concrete in that, didn't they? There's no swimming pool in Lincoln.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah. There was a swimming pool that they put because many of our not colleagues but students were drowning in Alligator Bend and in that
Blue too. I heard.
At Blue too.
I heard the kids.
And they developed under Fortescue, the superintendent at that time. They developed a plan for a swimming pool in the newly built gymnasium. Mr. West was the very first swimming instructor, but after I left, I think they stopped. They stuffed up the swimming pool.
Yeah. Within my first 6 months, the underground tanks. Oh, by the way, Mr. Vize had the other 10 acres, okay? And I negotiated with the oil companies, got him paid off. He got reimbursed. I think I got him $90,000. Got him reimbursed. And in addition to that, I got the oil companies to let him stay there. And he had his horses and everything. He stayed there and cut the grass and maintained the barn for about an additional $2,500. So he got a good deal. I got him $90,000, and he paid off, made him whole, and he stayed there until he passed away. Okay.
Well, now, did you have something to do with the newly renovated, not renovated, but housing addition Lakeside? When the the pipelines and everything, and people were supposed to be receiving some kind of compensation. Make sure you tell them about that, okay? Because I don't think when I bought property out there, they said I was supposed to have some money and everything. I never did get mine.
Well, this is what happened. There was a pipeline. They had to build a new corridor. The corridor, they couldn't come through the existing corridor because it was full. So that's Lakeside and Palomar.
Right.
They got that. Matter of fact, one of the recent development from that money, they got that community room built.
Right.
Okay. And the interesting thing, they was gonna save $1 million. Okay, by coming that way. So they were trying to bogart their way through. But just so happened we blocked them on the council. They said, okay, they had to come to us and get a permit for a new corridor. Okay, we wouldn't give it to them. I said, well, we forced them to do. We forced the oil company to go out there and deal with those communities, Palomar and Lakeside. Okay. Well, meanwhile, Councilman Baptiste and I found out how much money they was going to be saving. They was going to be saving $1 million if they had to go around, come around.
Right.
Okay. So we told the citizens they're going to be saving $1 million. So why don't y'all ask? Have them write y'all a check if y'all can come to an agreement. Guess what? They asked. One lady asked for $500,000. One lady asked for $50,000 for scholarships. Give me a break. Then another lady asked for $500,000. Okay, and Pearliana Paul.
There you go.
Pearliana Paul asked for $300,000.
Yeah.
And they wrote him a check for $300,000.
Yeah. And the rest of the people didn't never get paid.
No, they'll benefit. Nobody got paid. The money goes into a pool to benefit Lakeside and Palomar. That's all for that community.
Yeah.
That community center is for Lakeside and Palomar.
Yeah.
Okay? Nobody. That was a big argument about let's split the money up. Guess how much you was gonna get per person? $150. So leave. I said, y'all leave the money in the pool. And invest it, invest it conservatively, and work off the interest. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what they did. They kept the principal and worked off the interest. Now they got them a nice community room. Okay. It's really nice, really nice. But now there's another oil company that wants to come. They're gonna be coming through there. And so they may have another shot at some more negotiation.
Well, isn't there something in the making about pipeline going in through El Veste, back over there by the canal?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. When I was in.
Okay.
Well, okay, that oil company wanted to go through that tank farm is located in Montrose and Montrose off of Dorsey.
Yeah.
Well, they had to extend the pipeline to there.
Yeah.
Same thing happened. They had to pass through private property. Okay? They didn't want to do it. They condemned their property. You know, the oil companies got condemnation right now. That was all put in place for getting ready for that pipeline coming out of Canada.
Right.
So the oil company, they have what you call eminent domain. They can come and condemn your property. But guess what? They forgot they had to come to the city council in order to get the permit. Yes, they had the right to condemn the land, but you still have to come to us, the elected official, to get the permit.
Because there had to be a whole new rezoning situation that went on that.
Well, that had to go through the process as a permitting process,
right.
And they couldn't get around us.
Right.
They
You
couldn't.
were instrumental in that.
Oh yes, we condemned. When they came to full council, they thought they had the votes to force it through council. Well, District 5 once again stood up.
There you go.
We stood up. 1, 4, and 5 stuck together. We're not going to issue this permit until you all satisfy the conditions and pay those people that y'all crossing their land and condemn their land, pay them a reasonable price. And guess what? They ended up paying them.
I told you I kept following you, didn't
Yeah.
I? Okay.
Even Warren Fields was involved. He got paid.
You're listening to KSAP 96.9 LPFM in Port Arthur, Texas. Studio phone number is area code 409-982-0247.
And you're listening to the Trade Winds of the Ancestors here on the Breeze Radio Station with the special guest, Councilman Willie Lewis of the 5th, and first combined of the 5th.
1 and 4.
1 and 4 districts here in Port Arthur, Texas, and he's giving you a layout of a historical layout of his involvement in city council, and even when he was out of city council for a period of time, but his still involvement as a community activist in this city. Your elected official, Mr. Willie Lewis. Go ahead, Mr. Lewis.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Vize, he stayed there, and they paid him until he passed away. I don't know who has control of the land now, but it's an interesting thing. He had that 10-acre tract of land, and the oil company came, Chevron Oil Company came down from San Ramon, California, and I was not even on the council, and so I negotiated with them, and they said. And I said, look, see this 10-acre tract of land that Mr. Vize got here? I said, nah. If he developed it, and just put water and sewers, he could make $150,000 profit off just selling the lots. Okay? And I said, now, if he subdivided, put the streets and drainage in it, I said, well, guess how much he can make? He said, how much? I said, $1.5 million off of that 10-acre tract of land. He said, huh? I said, $1.5 million. That's what if he developed this 10-acre tract of land. And you know what that guy that's spoken for the oil companies? He said, are there any lawyers involved? I said, no. I said, just me. He said, can I have? I said, he took it back to the headquarters in San Ramon, California, and he came back. He said, we're gonna do a deal, and they paid him $90,000. And paid him $2,500 just to cut the grass and mend the fences. And he kept his horses and everything there up until this deal. Okay? But you got to have qualified elected officials to be able to stand up and do the research and burn the midnight oil.
You got to know what they're talking.
You got to know what you're doing. And you got to be able to speak their language. If you can't speak their language and know how to go head up with them, they'll beat you down. Okay? Now, in that same long apartments, a lady came to me at City Hall crying. And I went out to Long Apartments to check her. She got evicted. And she was telling me about how bad the situation. Long Apartments in District 6 and District 2. Okay? Now, they've been tore down. They was off of William Avenue. Yeah. Okay? She was telling me how horrible the condition was out there. Open sewage running in the open the drainage ditch in the back, kids playing in sewage, leaking sewage and stuff like that. And the kids, you take a bath at night and pull the plug, to drain the bath water, it ran into the bathtub, the second and third apartment down. Okay, so I got the health department in there. We hit them and did an inspection, and you can. John Commode was on the board, and Dr. Monroe was on the board, so they can verify what I'm talking about. And $250,000, I found out they couldn't fix it. Well, they were sealing them, not the board members, but the folks that's over the apartment complex. Okay, they was misappropriating funds. Now, just think now, $250,000 was misappropriated back then. Yes, under the same housing authority, but the apartment complex is all new now. Guess what? Guess how much is misappropriated today? $5 million. The district attorney's office they're investigating it right now. Okay, but by me getting involved, and they fired that old director, brought a man in from Bob Mason from HUD, and within that year he got $5 million to start renovating Long Apartment, Carver Terrace, and all them apartments right away. And they've been progressing and getting better and better. Now you got all new apartment complexes out there now. Okay, but one of the things I noticed, I didn't even know they had a board of directors at that time. But I found out the people served on the board had nothing in common with the folks that lived there. They had no poor folks. Oh, go ahead. You had a question?
Board of directors for the housing complex?
Yeah, housing authority.
Housing authority.
They got more than one complex.
Yeah.
The same housing authority board.
So, okay, let me differentiate. The city has a housing.
That's separate. City has a housing department.
That
they build a few houses every once in a while. Okay.
The one on DeQueen
and 10th Street.
Okay, they got a board.
They got a board.
Yeah, they got a board.
Housing authority board.
That's right.
The citizen at that time didn't even know a board existed.
Oh, no?
No, they didn't know. They found out real soon.
Now that's federal.
That is federal. Okay. And only one person controls that.
Well, don't call the name.
United States, the mayor's office. All over the United States, that's the way it's set up. I tried to change that.
Wait a minute. The mayor's office has
control
over the federal housing board.
Right, appoints it.
And appoints the people that is on the board, and there are, 8 members in one?
5 or 6 members.
5 or 6 members?
Whatever amount of
Is that the same board that just got sued?
Yeah. And got, you had to pay Guillory $600,000?
Yeah.
Cade Burnson and all of them. That's why I'm getting all this information. I read the deposition. That's how I know about the $5 million misappropriation. It came out of the depositions. When Joe Guillory, one of the administrators over there, sued him for terminating him for blowing the whistle on him. Mm-hmm. They paid him $600,000 and paid his legal fees. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the same.
Okay.
They had
and you're saying that the city mayor's office, has control,
right,
over the people who sit on a federal board.
Millions of dollars flows in from all over, from HUD. All your Section 8 monies comes through that.
Well, now, is that legal?
Yeah, it's legal. Yeah, it's legal.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's legal. It was set up that way in 1937. In 1937, they set it up. Nobody wanted anything to do with poor folks, okay?
Yeah, I remember.
Coming out of slums.
Yeah.
So they came up with that Housing Act, 1937.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to fool with it, so they just let the mayors have it all over the United States. All of that money flows to come into the housing. It does not come through the city of Port Arthur, city council.
Yeah, right.
I've been trying to change that law. I had it changed, but the governor of Texas vetoed it.
But the mayor doesn't have anything to do with the money.
Listen to me.
The money strings, but has something to do with the people
who handles the money.
Handles the money.
Nah.
And the people who handle the money, they are ordinary citizens?
Yes.
Appointed
off the street, whatever they're
appointed exclusively by one person in the city.
I wanted to get more oversight, and I got it passed. I got it. Frank Collazo carried the bill for me, and Senator Oscar Mars, the Supreme Court judge, he carried the bill for me. We got it passed. I brought citizens from Jefferson, from Port Arthur, Beaumont Housing Authority, Orange House. I took them on vans, and they testified before the committee. and we got it passed. Out of 131 state representatives, I called personally at my desk. I called 110 of them and talked to them. That's why it got passed. And then I took citizens from Beaumont Housing Authority, Port Arthur Housing Authority, and the Orange Housing Authority. I took them to testify before the Senate and before the House.
But they didn't change it.
Listen to what I'm saying. The House of Representatives passed it. The Senate passed it. Send it to the governor to sign it. I even had a guarantee for a tenant to be placed on that too. Send it to the House. Now, if the governor does not sign it within 20 days, it's automatically law. After 20 days, the governor waited until the 19th day and vetoed it.
Who was the governor then?
Clements.
Clements.
Clements was
Clements.
Clements.
Okay.
Clements. He was the governor. He vetoed it on the 19th day, and that's right at the end of the session.
So it's still in focus of what
The only thing
1937 was.
Right. Still, the only thing I got passed was with their volunteer. They automatically putting a tenant on there. A tenant has to serve. that came later on. Yeah, and it's still that way. When the Chicago, what that black mayor name became mayor of Chicago, first mayor black guy in Chicago. You remember what I'm talking about?
No, not Marion Barry. That was D.C.
Man,
that was D.C.
The one in Chicago.
Not Coleman.
No, the name not gonna change. Guess what he discovered? See, this is true all over. The one person has controlled all this money and all these appointments. Guess what he found? He found in banks large deposits of housing authority money in non-interest bearing accounts.
Yeah, well, if you recall, 9 years ago, I blew the whistle about executive departments of HUD that was taking HUD's money and building their own mansions and everything.
Yeah, sure they do that.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, and a lot of them been indicted now.
Oh yeah, up there in Dallas.
Yeah.
About 10, 15 years ago, they indicted city councilmen and housing authority people. See, the housing. Most of your elected officials go to jail behind the housing authority. Now you remember Beaumont?
Yeah. Yeah.
Housing authority.
Yeah.
See, they feel free. The money is flowing over there. It's out of control. All your Section 8 money. See, one of the things, once HUD pay their portion for the tenants, then what happens to that money? That money, housing authority, they got apartment complex. HUD pays that to get the rent down, okay? But then the money comes back to the housing authority. All these complexes, the money comes to the housing authority.
That's
and it's not separate. They treat that as separate.
Now let's clear something up.
Okay.
That is HUD run apartments. That's not private
There ain't
apartments.
nothing private about that.
Okay, that's a different situation.
That's HUD.
Because some apartment complexes are not run by
That is
the
correct.
housing authority. We want to make sure you understand
Turtle
that.
Creek and all them.
Yeah.
But guess what? Section 8 money go there.
Oh yeah.
Come through the housing
Oh
authority.
yeah. But that's over to a private real estate.
But down there off of Williams apartment, off of Williams, off of Gulfway Drive, that is housing authority.
Authority. Yeah. It's a big difference. Because I just went through that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And guess what? O.W. Collins. Now listen closely. O.W. Collins is a housing authority project. Okay, now listen closely. They was making $40,000 to $50,000 profit a month.
They was in the black. And they sold it.
And they sold it. They sold it to iTech. And guess what? The housing authority attorneys was not involved. Guess who iTech attorneys was involved? Now tell me something. If you make
why would you sell?
You're in the black. 600, 500.
You're making a profit. Why would
500,
you
600,000. And why would you sell it for 3 years profit? They sold it for $1.5 million.
Yeah,
they sold the control of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you kept up with that.
But yeah, I kept up with that. But I've been keeping up with something. There has to be, and this has nothing to do with your.
No, this is the thing I discovered.
Yeah.
As being a city councilman.
There's something really strange about the construction companies, housing construction companies in this state and in other states that needs to be looked into to find out if there is a larger corporation that controls all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because too many contracts go to the same construction company.
Let's back up. Go back to the board. Who appoints the board? One person.
The mayor.
The mayors of the cities.
Right.
That's all over here. One person.
Uh-huh.
Okay, guess what? Who hires the director for the housing authority? The board.
The board.
That was appointed.
Yeah.
By the mayors.
Uh-huh.
All right? Who hires the contractors to work for the housing authority? The board.
And
the housing authority director,
Uh-huh.
with the recommendation of the board.
Right.
Huh?
But isn't there a loophole there somewhere where these people got to make certain bids for certain situations? But if a contracting company doesn't make a bid, then that leaves the
who decides on what bid you're going to take.
They say the lowest, but I mean
no. There's another trick to that. The lowest. You got that part.
Yeah.
Responsive.
Yeah.
Responsive. That's how they get you.
Okay.
You may be the lowest bidder, but you're not you can't deliver.
You can't. Which has happened here in Port Arthur quite often,
right. So
because they've come back
so
and back and back to ask for more money.
Either they throw it out, and go out for more bids, or they go to the next highest bidder. The next highest bidder.
So it's a game.
You can call it that. You can call it that.
I ain't gonna call
so they can throw your bid out.
Yes,
you're the lowest, but you're not the
responsive.
That's the responsive. That's responsive. That's how they get you.
Huh. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, y'all listening to all this, and the phone lines are open if you have a comment or a question with Councilman Willie Lewis of the Port Arthur City Council. And there was quite a bit that went on yesterday in City Council, but you have a whole lot of more stuff you want to get to.
Some of the things.
Some of the things. Go ahead.
Look, tax abatement. You know what everybody's benefiting from? The tax abatement. Let me check off along. The tax abatement, I initiated that, and that's why all these industries. I initiated it for the city of Port Arthur, and we spread it to industry. That's why all these expansions and everything is going on. All we got to do now is get our fair share of the job. It's spread it all over Jefferson County. Tax abatement, okay? But we just got to fine tune it now. And term limitation. We initiated that. That came out of District 5, 1 and 4.
That was you and Walter Mosley.
And Vanessa Baptiste and Geraldine Hunt.
Right.
Yeah, we was all involved in that.
Right.
We had been trying to get term limitation on the council, but they kept voting it down. So we hit the streets and got a petition. And guess what? The citizens said, we want term limitation. Okay? Now that was put in place, okay? And sometimes we was fighting, but Mary Ellen Summerlin became the mayor, and she was all for it, and that's why we expanded it to. She said, "Look, babe, I can go for that. Let's go from 2 years to 3 years." I said, "I don't have a problem with it." We went from 2 years to 3 years with all of the council.
What year was that? Was
93,
93,
94.
Okay.
That was 94. I saw 93, 94.
She didn't stay long.
Her husband moved to Tennessee.
Okay. All right.
The 93, 94. So we ended up making all of the seats. But guess what we found out when we got Steve Fitzgibbon as the city manager, and he District 7 and 8, we put it on 3 years too. But guess what? But it was still on plurality, and Steve Fitzgibbon reminded us that you can't have it on plurality in 3 years because it's a constitution issue. So what we had to do, we had to immediately have another charter change, and another charter change for 7 and 8. We put 7 and 8 back because we wanted to stay on plurality. That give minorities in the city of Port Arthur, we blacks are not the minority, a reasonable opportunity to get elected by block voting, putting it on plurality.
Right.
2 top vote get a service. So
Right.
we put it back.
Right.
And now it was put back in place by the Councilwoman Prince in 2006. Okay?
That's right.
And they had the charter change. I say that's gonna cost the taxpayers a ton of money. It had the charter change election in 6. It was implemented in 2008. From 2008 up to 2015, it cost the taxpayers over $250,000, $260,000 for just runoff, not for the primary, just for the runoffs. $260,000 go a long ways, and it's got a chance of happening again in May, because the citizen committee fell short. 92 signatures was removed because they didn't have the address. Qualified voters, bona fide residents, they didn't have the address on 92 of them, and they fell short by 71. Well, but anyway, unfortunate. Now, so 7 and 8 is still in. Now, I had 7 and 8 on the agenda for discussion last May. Okay, to be placed on the ballot. For plurality. To
Right.
keep at large, but put it on plurality like the school board.
Right. You wouldn't be faced with that runoff stuff.
Get rid of the runoff. That's the only. Get rid of the runoff stuff.
Right.
Guess what? Councilwoman Hamilton had it removed.
So really, they misunderstood what you was trying to do.
No, they were doing what they was told.
7 and 8 would have still been in existence, and
on plurality.
We wouldn't have this dumb stuff that's going on now.
That's right. That's right. They was done what they was told.
What they was told.
That's right.
Okay.
Because I had the city secretary to hand deliver the complete package as to what was going to take place, and we were going to have a workshop.
I saw it.
And workshop it. But when it came up for discussion, Councilwoman Hamilton made the motion to have it removed. No discussion, no nothing. And they just went along with it.
Who seconded? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't know who seconded it. They voted to have it removed. And now,
without even discussing.
With no discussion, nothing. We could have worked.
I've watched that several times, but not now, but in the past when I would go and sit there, and I would see people would holler, "Point of order."
That's interrupted.
Before any discussion or whatever it was, and then people would say, I move to do this and move to do that, and somebody say second. Before there's any discussion whatsoever. But doesn't it supposed to be
discussion?
I move to, and they say discussion.
Yeah.
Isn't that the way that's supposed to go?
Phase 1, you make the motions to get a second. Yeah. Now discussion. If no discussion, you vote on it.
Yeah, right. After the discussion, somebody can present the pros and the cons, and then the persuasion of whether you're gonna vote yes or no on it.
Councilwoman Hamilton immediately.
I've seen that.
They call her the mayor called on her. Her motion was to remove it. The motion is supposed to be you get it on the floor.
I've even seen sometimes in the past where people were discussing something and somebody said move to adjourn. And somebody said second, and there's a lot of shitting y'all up there.
No, they can't do that. They do some dumb things.
I've seen when Baxter was there, they tried.
I don't doubt those things have happened.
They tried.
Yeah, I don't doubt those things.
And I say what? And what was that other lady? She was councilwoman for. Before Tiffany Hamilton?
She was sleeping in meat most times.
I watched her. She would be sleeping. Somebody say, "Well, what?"
They took advantage of her.
And then at times she would make a vote and then come back and change her vote.
She didn't even know where she was at. She was ill.
Yeah,
she was ill.
Yeah,
and they just took advantage of her. And right, Hobby Lobby.
Yeah,
you got $1 million. They woke her up enough to vote.
Only to vote, because I sit there and watch this go to sleep.
That's why you stuck with Hobby Lobby, a 10-year contract, a sales tax rebate. And then Hobby Lobby was already here going in by Saltgrass. That developer. They took it from that developer and moved it down there and created another contract. Yeah, you know. Okay. Lucian Adams, the Congressional of Honor winner. World War II. Sergeant Lucian Adams. I found out that he had never been recognized. A Congressional Medal of Honor winner. What I found, I got to check it into it. I found out that his sister-in-law at Leo and Willis asked me could they hang a picture of him in the museum at City Hall. I said, no, we can do better than that. I said, I'm going to work to get a street name after him. I got to checking. I said, why did they honor him? His name was Lucian Adams, Sergeant Lucian Adams. Guess what they found out? The city of Port Arthur, what I was told, the city of Port Arthur had a big ticker tape parade ready to go. They was going to honor him. Lucian Adams, okay? Guess what they found out? They found out that he was Hispanic and they canceled the parade. And never honored this man. I found out, but now I got that street name after Lucian Adams, and now they got a school name after.
I like for you to get a street or something named after Adam Simpson, who was the lieutenant. His whole platoon was massacred in Vietnam, and Lincoln High School graduated in 1958. Okay, and a drum major.
Oh yeah, I heard about him.
Yeah,
I heard about him. Now this is gonna make the hair rise on the back of your neck here. Okay. Picture this. You ever work longshoreman?
Oh yeah.
You ever work longshoreman?
Oh yeah. Coke docks, drum.
On the deck of those barges and ships, it's pretty hot, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, they had some kids stowaways in a cage on that hot deck. Had some kids.
Out here in the Sabine?
Right here in this port.
Okay.
Right here in this port, right here. Okay?
What year was that?
Oh, it was when I done in the late 80s. Jesse Castro, he was in college. He was working. He called me and told me about those kids. I found out that the NAACP had already found out about them. They went out there to try to board the ship to get those kids released. They wouldn't let them on board.
African American, Hispanics, or what?
Yeah, African American. No, they was just kids. I don't know what they was. I don't know what they were.
Why were they there?
Huh?
Why were they there?
They boarded the ship from whatever country they had, and they stowaways.
Right.
They hid out on the ship.
And they captured them and put them in a cage.
Put them in a cage on a hot deck. So Jesse Castro, he called me, and when he called me, and I went to the city manager at that time, and I said, city manager, I said, don't the health department has police power? And they don't turn their way everybody. I said, don't the health department has police power? He said, yes. I said, this is what I want you to do, city manager. I'd already told him about it.
Who, this was Fitzgibbons?
No, this was George DeBrell then.
George
DeBrell. I said, and he knew about the kids. He knew about the kids was on the deck, was in the cage. He knew. I said, you know about it? He said, yeah. Ain't nothing we can do about it. I said, don't the health department has police power? He said, yes. I said, this is what I want you to do. You get the director of health department, Nurse Wade. She wasn't the director at the time. Dr. Carla was. I said, go down there and give them orders to go get those kids off that boat. I said, I want you to stop by the police department down there and get a couple of cops. And you take it, and y'all go on that ship, okay? And I said, y'all go get those kids. Get the police. Follow my order. I said, if anybody mess with you, put them in jail. I said, a captain, I want him handcuffed and locked up, okay? If you get in your way or try to, whatever, they could have shot him, okay? But they went on, the health department went on that ship with the police and got them kids out of the cage. And I got in touch with, then we processed them and got in touch with Al Price and got them back to their country.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that was part of the District 1 because that's
part of District 1, yeah.
Of the Gulf of Mexico. So that's the port.
That's the port right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, I got another one for you.
Okay.
You remember when Baytown, that's a big explosion, you heard about it? A big explosion. The thing that happened in Bay City or Baytown? At the docks.
Oh, you mean Texas City?
Texas City.
Yeah. When the propeller went
ship blew up.
Right.
People got killed because they went looking,
explosion
running down there, looking, and it had a second explosion.
Right.
You know what caused that explosion?
Uh-huh.
Dynamite and blasting caps on the same ship.
I was young then. I was a kid then.
No, that wasn't yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay. Dynamite and blasting caps on the same ship. I got a phone call from the longshoreman. Called me about 2 o'clock in the morning. Told me that ship with dynamite and blasting caps on it on the same ship. You can't do that.
No,
they had a steering problem. They just put them out to Port of Beaumont, and he said they're over here in our port. I said, you got to be kidding me. So I woke up the fire chief, told him what was happening. I said, get me the number of that ship. Get me the number of that ship. Got the number of the ship. I told it to the chief. And the chief went. I said, he went over there and verified. I said, call me back. When I told him what was happening, he said, better not be. I said, well, get over there. He got out of bed and went over there, and he called me back. And he verified the number on the ship, and he verified the
this was right here in the
right
port.
here. Verified the explosive and the blasting caps on the same ship. He got them out of here.
Okay.
Ordered them out.
Okay.
That same thing could have happened right here.
That's right.
Yeah. Ordered them out here.
That's right. Because the propeller from that ship was found miles away.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, if I recall the stories of it, the explosion was felt as far as his Port Arthur. Okay.
All right.
409-982-0247. If you got a comment, you better get it in quick.
Yeah, because we got less than 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Turn your radio down, please.
Yes, that explosion shook in Louisiana.
Yeah.
The explosion in Texas City. What year that was? 19 what?
That's not going to change the story, but I don't know what year.
That was in the 40s.
Yeah, in my hometown. It shook in Louisiana, maybe 150 miles away. I thought it was an earthquake.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, we were little kids then.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Now here's another one. Drugs. I was getting phone calls from drugs right there on Savannah and Neyland Avenue at a cafe there. The people was complaining about the drug trafficking all night and all that. So what I did, I had that shut down and had
Savannah and Neyland Avenue. You talking about Ruthie's?
No, whatever. Yeah.
Breeze Radio.
Yes, how you doing today? I'd like to say that it's very educational for have Brother Bay on there, and I thank him for coming. And I talked to Brother Doucette that on your show that he could get on there and come a little more often. And the topics that you're on is the education, is educating people about what's going on. Bay Lewis have so much knowledge that is so important that he can pass on to help people and let people know what he has done, and you tell us and what you're doing or trying to do. So these topics and what y'all talking about is very good, and I want to appreciate it and let you know y'all thank you for that.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
So I had a survey done. See, could I justify shutting it down and tearing it down? I had a survey done. Guess what I found out? The survey. 150 arrests had been made on that property, and nothing has been done about it. So Eddie Collins was working for the Port. Eddie Collins called me and said, "Man, we got it." And I had it when they did the study. I've had it on the agenda for that Monday or that Tuesday. And look here, man, they raided it that day, shut it down, arrested everybody, and we tore the darn thing down. That's why it's a slab that day.
I know what you're talking about because I used to frequent it back in the 50s, okay? You're talking about Ruthie's with the little brick wall and all that.
Yeah, right there on Savannah and Neyland, right there.
Right.
A little neighborhood cap. Now, Sally's Alley. I got so many complaints about Sally's Alley. Drugs all over the place, all hours of the night. So I had a study done. Like I did for the neighborhood cafes, see how many arrests. They had made a bunch of arrests, but they was not on the property. So now I had to find another way to get them shut down. Guess what I used? Out of compliance on the plumbing.
Okay.
Out of compliance on the plumbing.
Okay.
I shut them down there and tore it down.
Okay.
Yeah. You either bring it into compliance or we're going to tear it down. They couldn't bring it into compliance.
So actually, you made a lot of favor, but you also made a lot of enemies. You know
They
that,
didn't,
right?
they didn't know.
They didn't know. They know now.
They was too high. Most of them was too high, man.
Okay. 409-982-0247. 409-982-0247. Get your calls in. I'm going to give him a break for a minute with some music and let him do a closing remark. Y'all keep it locked.
Sometimes I feel like I'm just wasting my time, looking for another side. Sometimes I feel like I'm just losing my mind, 'cause there ain't no other side. Sometimes I feel like I'm just spinning my wheels, ain't no big deal. Morning, there's another side. Sometimes I feel like I'm just standing in place, ain't no real race, and ain't no other side. Life is like a circle and you end up where you started. You end up where you started. If you end up where you started, ain't no other side. Yeah, but if life is like a curtain, then I'm 90% certain that I'm looking through at something. Yes, I'm almost touching something on the other side. Yeah, opposite of new is old, the opposite of young is old. Seems like everything has got another side. Yeah, but the young ones wanna be old ones know what they can do if they was young ones. People ain't never really satisfied. Folks ain't never satisfied. If life is like a mirror, then the nearer you get clearer, you can see it so much clearer. Feel like you know about the other side. Yes, and my friends all swear they know. Friends all swear they know what I should do with my life, how I should run my life, what should be happening in my life. They're on the other side. Yeah, they're on the outside, I'm on the inside. They're on the outside, I'm on the inside. Yes, and things always look so much better from the other side. 4 o'clock in the morning, they don't know. All the things I've been needing, they don't know. I'm breaking out in a sweat and they don't know. Feeling bad and they don't know. Feeling down and they don't know. Feeling down and they don't know. They don't know the other side. Yeah, I need to go home. Mama could change it. Daddy could help me. Yes, I could go home. Yeah, Mama don't need to see me this way, know me this way, touch me this way, love me this way, find me this way. Hey, I can't go home. I'm saying, I don't want to call him, I don't want to know him, I don't want to need him, I don't want to feel it, I don't want to know, 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 but I know, no. Hey, home. Yeah, so I say tomorrow, hey, I'll go home. tomorrow ain't coming. Tomorrow ain't coming. Tomorrow ain't coming. Tomorrow will always be where it was. Tomorrow. Yeah, I need to go home. Maybe I can start all over. Yes, I'd like to start all over at home. Without the whispers, gaining on me, moving on me, rolling with me, moving on me. Yes, I'd like to go home without the whispers.
You're listening to KSAP 96.9 LPFM in Port Arthur, Texas. Studio phone number is area code 409-982-0247.
Okay, we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with City Councilman Willie Lewis of the here in Port Arthur, Texas, and with some closing remarks. I hope that you have enjoyed the program. We both do. Hope you enjoyed the program. Thank you to call us off air and on air for your comments. Very appreciative. Mr. Lewis, would you continue? Give us
yeah, there's a couple of things I forgot to mention here. Orange, Texas never had single-member districts, so they sent for me. I went over there about 4 years ago in Orange, Texas. They have single-member district today, and they're electing candidates of their choice now. Had been very few minorities, if not any, was on the council. So I went over there and trained at NAACP, Mr. Howard, and Councilwoman Purnell. She's on the council now, and I trained all of them. And they presented the program, drew up the line. They presented the program to the Orange City Council. Guess what? They didn't even fight over it. They went ahead and went to single-member district. You know why? Because of that. Well, we fought in the courts back here in Port Arthur, myself and Walter Mosley. We fought in the Port Arthur with the city of Port Arthur for 4 years, and we had at large voted with majority vote declared unconstitutional. And so Beaumont, after we won our case, Beaumont volunteered. Marty Meyer was the mayor. They volunteered and went to single-member district. And all those years, Orange couldn't get anybody of their choice. And less than 3-4 years ago, I went over there and trained them. And now they have single-member district, and they're electing council members of their choice today. And you know, if we hadn't won that single-member district with the city of Port Arthur, you wouldn't have any justice of the peace. You wouldn't have any constables. You know, all that changed. You didn't have any department heads. You didn't have a minority above the rank of sergeant in the police department, and you had no minority department heads. You know, you never had any minority city managers. You never had any minority chiefs of police. All of those things have changed. The wealth is being spreaded, you know, and things are a lot better. It may not seem to some people, but things are 300-400% better. And what's interesting, they budgeted $800,000 to fight us, the taxpayers. They budgeted $800,000, and they spent $532,000, and they lost. We spent less than $20,000, and we won. So it's obvious whose side the Lord was on. They spent $532,000. We spent less than $20,000. So it was all up to the Lord. The Lord handled the whole thing. You know, being a city councilman, there's a lot of things that you can get done without having to come through the council.
Go ahead, caller.
One of the things that I've noticed with the vote, as it is on the city council now, it seems that our representatives for the single-member districts vote in the interest of their district, but with the number of at-large seats that we have, they seem to always vote down the interests of the single-member districts. now that you can see from experience what can happen, how can the council go back to this at-large system? Seems that the way they're trying to make it possible for all the people to vote on at-large positions, which will put us farther behind, and we'll lose ground from what we've gained over these years since we have had single-member districts. How can you help the people to see that when you have totally at-large districts where the whole town vote on the majority of the council, nothing will improve in those districts like District 1 and District 2. But the majority vote, it's just, it's hard to get people to see what's happening when they don't really understand the way the voting has been going on the council as of late. And it has nothing to do with the race of the representatives. It's the interests of the representatives that's not being taken care of. District 1 has not improved. It's like a car with 3 wheels running, but, you're on a flat in District 1. And there are no improvements, although that's where most of the money in the city is being made, because that's where all of our industry is. But the people in the district are being shortchanged. And how do you get representatives to see that they have they're supposed to look out for the interests of the people in District 1?
Yeah, you're correct. Just recently in District 1, the contractors did some damage to some homes along MLK in the new addition. Well, District 1, District 4, District 5 voted for the contractors to pay them. The rest of them just ignored them. And they vote on these people that voted against them. They voted, they had $800,000. All I requested was to hold $100,000, give them the $700,000. Hold $100,000 and settle those claims. Oh, they voted against it. The majority of the council voted to pay. And now, that shifted the burden. Now those people have to go get attorneys.
Okay. Yeah. I was just about to say that.
And the ringleader was Swati. Councilman Swati.
Let me finish. There have been allegations that the construction that was happening with the Sabine Canal in that area caused damage to those houses. But the company has said no, and so now they have to go to court.
Right.
Yeah, allegations have been.
No, it's not allegations. These are facts. I'm witnessing. These are facts.
But it hasn't been proven through a court of law that happened, because the companies said, and whoever they had come in there and do the surveys and do the things said, no, we weren't responsible for that. So it's the citizens versus the company,
right,
which has to be, which one allegation, one says yes they did it, the other says no they did it. We have to make sure we understand that. Okay, so it has now to go in court. Like
Correct.
You say, people have to get lawyers and everything to try to get some kind of satisfaction out of that. Okay. Yeah. All right. We just want to make sure we understand
the
that clearly.
Council, the people that the old citizen votes on these council members, and they're coming up for re-election in May. And they had an opportunity to help their constituents, and they voted against it.
They voted against what?
They voted against paying.
Paying.
All we had to do was hold the money.
Well, I felt very sorry for the residents of District 1 when it was that district that made it possible for the extension of water sewer lines to, to Louisiana and to Sabine Pass. And I think the architects and the people who did the work got a special recognition for the design of that extension of the water to those areas. yet the people who live close to that design are, they had their property shook up when they extended all those water lines. Of course, it's going to make a lot of money for the city, but yet there was some damage done to those District 1 residents that should have been taken under consideration by the council. And I noticed that they were just, more interested in going ahead instead of waiting a couple of weeks to allow those West End residents some opportunity to get help, because they could be kept in court for 10 years, and never get any satisfaction.
Yeah.
I had gotten.
But I'm going to hang up and listen.
Yeah. I like the way you explain that. You and I are on the same page.
Right.
You agree that what Mr. Lewis is saying is that rather than wait and help or see what was going on, like you say, they voted to just go ahead on and end it in so many ways, which is wrong.
Right. So one of the things.
Thank you, caller.
One of the things.
All right.
Okay. One of the things. See, I've had those problems before in District 1. Port Iron, and then down there by Diamond on Gulfway Drive, that did damage to the homes around there, the crack the sheetrock and stuff. I got them paid. The companies paid them. Vibration will do that. Will crack the sheetrock. That's what has happened. Shift to the foundation. The house off the foundation.
Yeah, we know that it happened, but I just want to make
it did happen.
We know that can happen, but you're on a public broadcast system, and I want to just make sure that we understand how we present that information.
No, I understand that.
Yeah, we can't say I will not allow you to say yes, that happened. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay.
In addition to, before I close out, there's a lot of things you can do as an elected official that you don't have to bring through the city council. I've done a lot of things, like the land, the negotiation, we got a couple of minutes. Now, it was brought to my attention that a young lady was being abused in the military by her ex-husband. Well, when I found out about it, I called Congressman Nick Lampson. And I called, I found out that she had reported it to her superior. Nothing was done about it. So what I did, I got Congressman Nick Lampson involved, and look here, we stopped that. We got it stopped and reprimanded the commander for not doing anything. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can do by being an elected official. And just pick up the phone, just know who to call, what buttons to push. You got that kind of respect, but you got to use it. You just have to use it. But anyway, I just want to remind everybody to go to the last page. Early voting starts on the October 21st through the November 4th. October the 24th through November the 4th. That is the early voting. Go to the last. It's a lot to read. If you want to read it, fine. But the last page has yes and no. I'm asking everybody to vote no on the Charter Change Amendment. This Charter Change Amendment that was sponsored by one council member is going to cost the taxpayers over $40,000. An unsolicited charter change. Because, it makes no sense to me for somebody to want to blow up his own position just to get rid of District 5. But that's the way it is. I appreciate you all listening. If y'all got any questions, you want me to come by and talk to any committees or groups or anything, my phone number is 409-718-0586. 409-718-0586. Appreciate y'all listening.
Lake Charles, get ready for Ladies' Night with the one and only Will Downing.
Hey, Lake Charles, Louisiana, the Golden Triangle, and surrounding areas, it's me, your man, Will Downing. Yeah, the Prince of Sophisticated Soul. Listen, on October 29th, I'm going to be at the Rosa Hart Theater at 8 p.m. Come on out for a sophisticated night of love. I hope to see you there.
And Life Jennings performing live Saturday,